Come on, man.
Episode 2.
Part deuce.
Finally. A day late. Throwing hands with this guy.
I mean, episode 2, this is like a year late, yo. A lot of starts, a lot of stops. We're not stopping no more, yo. Let's keep this thing going.
All right.
Gamescast.
Yo, I'm Philip.
Got Phil with me.
It's your boy Samba.
And Andrew all day. All right.
What we talking about today, man?
Well, second video of the year. I kind of want to talk about the last decade, right? So this is our last video talking about all these previous years. You know,
is it our last video?
Yeah, man.
The last video.
It's the last one.
Last video we did our 2 favorite games of 2019.
Right.
So in this one, you want to talk about the whole decade?
The whole decade.
That's a hard one. Oh shit.
The whole decade.
Oh man.
So I hope you guys did your homework.
You know I did mine, man.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm ready.
Yo, bro, it was a struggle. It was a struggle for me.
Was it?
Yeah, man.
So I made my list in about 5 to 10 minutes, and I know I'm gonna regret it after this video goes up.
You will.
All right.
As soon as this video gets up, you know, I'm gonna be like, damn, I forgot that, and that. And hopefully it's on your list so that I can at least talk about it.
It won't be.
No.
It's not going to be on his
We
list.
have completely different tastes in games, yo.
So actually,
I would actually say Phil don't have taste in games, but
what?
but we're about to find out, yo. We shall see.
We are, because I want to start off with Phil.
Let's go with Phil first, yo.
God damn, he out me just like that. All right,
Prove me wrong, yo. Prove me wrong. I want to see some names I know.
All right, in no particular order.
Okay.
Don't quote me on this.
Okay.
Who are we supposed to quote? It's your list.
All right, I have Path of Exile. I have Division.
The first one?
Yeah, Division 1.
Okay.
I have the second division as an honorable mention on my list.
Hey, man, nobody cares about your list
Oh,
right now, yo.
I'm sorry, man. I'm
talking
gonna
about
forget.
Phil right
I'm
now.
gonna forget, yo.
I got Metal Gear Solid 5. I got Destiny 2. I know you got that on your list.
It's not on my list.
Whoa, I got Dragon's Dogma. I got Final Fantasy 15.
Okay.
Oh.
Don't Starve. Gotta have that.
Okay.
Bloodborne. Ori and the Blind Forest. And Gears of War 3.
Gears of War 3? I was not expecting Gears of War 3.
Oh, man.
I was not expecting that. Okay.
Gears of War 3.
All right. So I do want to talk about a few of those games that you chose.
Yeah, we don't have it. We don't have anything in common, yo.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yo, I got a gang of honorable mentions. I'm like,
There it goes. Yeah, we don't have anything in
I had to
common.
take so many off.
One game
Okay.
I'll say that we may have had in common, but I never really got a chance to play it yet.
What?
It's also on my hit list I was talking about in the last episode, is Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I love Metal Gear. That's one of my favorite franchises, and for some reason, I never played that game.
It's because there's a lot of drama, and it's probably...
The whole Konami thing,
Yeah.
and everything,
Yeah.
the way everything went down.
Konami, by the way.
You know what I mean? I think right when that game landed, I had open world game fatigue, so I was like, I don't want to play this right now. And time just went on. Other games came out, and it's just been sitting on my PlayStation. You know? So
nah.
I'll get to it eventually
I
for
feel
sure.
you on that.
So Phil,
Yo,
those 10 games you gave us, give us 2 that you think hit the hardest.
2 that hit the hardest is probably going to be Metal Gear Solid 5 and probably Bloodborne.
Listen, man,
Okay.
It's been a few years. You know, if you gotta throw a spoiler out there, that's okay. I don't know what I'm getting into it. How did Metal Gear 5 hit? Like, what aspect of it?
I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It was just as amazing as all the other Metal Gear Solids, and it's the great thing about it is every time you would go to a base and you would either kill or defeat most of the enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Next time you go to that base, like if you did all headshots, they would put on like
helmets. Yeah.
Put on extra armor.
That's some Shadow of Mordor type. Like, you kill the enemy this way.
Oh yeah,
you can't get them that way.
They'll react to it. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
If you always go at night, they'll start putting on night vision goggles.
Oh
yeah,
man,
and they'll have more people there at night.
Yeah, it's just like no matter what you do, if you keep hitting the same spot, they'll build a defense towards it.
Is that the loop of the game? Like you're just taking over bases?
Well, no, you're not really taking over base because once you leave, the enemies come back.
Okay.
But I can't. It's been a while.
Like,
but
what's the actual story of that game?
Hold on. It's Metal Gear Solid. Don't even ask that question.
My bad.
You're building a base.
The only reason why I asked is because from the trailers, it did seem like this was like the most grounded of all the Metal Gears. Not because I played the what was the?
It is.
What was the prologue?
Phantom. Not Phantom Pain. What was the one that came out first? Ground Zeroes.
Yeah, I played Ground Zeroes, and I know the cutscene and everything. It seemed like it was like all out of this world, but like,
I mean, it's still Metal Gear.
Overall, it seemed like it was like grounded.
It's grounded, except for who you are.
Oh shit!
Who you are is just You're like, what?
Well,
I don't want to get no spoilers, but it's just confusing.
I mean, speaking of the story,
you can spoil it for people, man. If you ain't played Metal Gear Solid 5 like my dumbass at this point, then you deserve to have your whole life.
Well, your character, you play as not Solid State. You play as Big Boss.
Yeah, okay.
But you're not Big Boss. You create a character at the beginning of the game, and they basically remodel your face after Snake, and they give you like Snake's memories and all that, and you're basically like a dummy Snake.
You're like a clone.
Like a clone while the real Snake is off doing something else. You're creating this, if I can remember, you're creating a mother base.
Do you ever interact with the real Snake?
You do, but I think it's only in like cinematics.
Yeah.
And like when you're going to different bases, you're actually catching people to send them to mother base and work for you.
Yeah, I saw that put the balloons on them and they get airlifted out.
Yeah, and that's from Portable Ops.
That is, Portable Ops was a dope Metal Gear Solid game. Underrated, should get a remake if it was up to me.
It's on PlayStation 3 and 4. No, I think it's on PlayStation.
Is it Portable Ops?
Well, yeah, because they did the little Metal Gear Solid.
It's off the PSP one. I don't think it's called Portable Ops though.
Which one was Portable? Because there was the one that was like that tactics game.
Yeah, you're talking about Acid.
Yeah, so Acid. So I think it was Portable Ops.
I forgot Acid.
Acid was good, yo. Acid was good.
Called something else, but I don't remember.
You know what else was good off topic? The Killzone game that was on. I think it was on Vita. It was like it was like an isometric shooter.
Yeah, I had that game.
That was another one that was like good. All right, but
I lost my Vita though. But yeah,
and my second was
you're off it.
I lost it.
And my second was Bloodborne. I played Bloodborne so much I was level 286.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And now I have like Souls fatigue. Like I can't pick up the 6 and I can't play.
Shikaro?
I can't play Shikaro. Like as soon as it starts to get hard and I have to figure shit, I'm like, I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to do nothing.
I mean, you drove yourself.
Fatigued,
you drove yourself to hell.
Yeah,
basically.
I tried to beat what's the name 3?
What?
Dark Souls 3. And I got about like a few hours in, and I was just like, man, I just don't want to do it.
Isn't all these hours you put into Death Stranding, isn't that kind of like the same thing? Like I know the gameplay is different, but isn't it kind of like the same, like kind of pushing yourself to kind of get farther and fucking up and
I don't see it.
Nah,
because it's an issue that I have with like Sekiro, which is actually on my one of the games on my list. Like you can play that game for an hour, 2 hours, and actually not progress.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh yeah.
Anything I felt I was doing in Death Stranding, I was progressing.
Yeah.
So like if it was a single delivery, if it was knocking out this mule camp and collecting their items, there's always like a progression.
It depends on your idea of progression.
You didn't play Death Stranding, man. You got to play it.
Yeah, it does because you get better as a player,
right?
In losing, right? So yeah,
no. Every time you deliver, you do progress. Because
we're talking about like in Shikaro.
Going back to these games.
Okay.
So like you learn from your mistakes. But if you die like 2 times in a row, whatever it is, and you lose all your money or you lose your items,
and you got all the dragon rot going around,
that's a blow, man.
It is.
You might as well have not played today. You might as well have just went out with your homies, got some wings, and just had a great day because you wasted your whole day. So even though I'm liking it,
I agree.
Yeah. So that's why the Souls games to me haven't really jumped out to me. Luckily, Sekiro, because I like samurai swords and all that. It just speaks to me, right?
Mm-hmm. That's the hard one to get into, though.
Yeah,
you get penalized when you die.
Yeah.
Unlike the other ones, you do, but you're not like Sekiro.
Yeah, you get penalized. I mean, I don't really feel it too heavy yet because I think I save a lot. I'm trying to be more careful. I'll run if I have to.
Dragon
I'm out.
Is a
I put the Nikes on and I'm gone. Yeah, air pump my jump out. I'm out, but
okay.
That's my top 2 out of that 10.
All right,
Samba. What about you, man?
I mean,
I
wasn't really ready for this, but
you go ahead and bring out the book.
Let me see. All right,
I'm making a whole list
in no particular order. The Last of Us,
Greatness.
God of War, the 2018.
Yep. Okay.
Reimagining.
Reimagining.
Okay.
Had a hard time with this one, but I picked one in the series. Uncharted 2, Among Thieves.
Uncharted 2. Okay. Okay.
Red Dead Redemption, the first one.
Okay.
I like the second one a lot, but
the first one.
The first one
hit.
It felt like everything you were doing. It felt different at the time. Everything you were doing mattered. It seemed.
Yeah. You felt like a cowboy, man.
In this game, and 2, I'm like, I like it, but I'm like, does this even matter in the long run?
I think my boy Patrice O'Neal was in that.
Which one?
In the first one?
Yeah, I think he had a voice character.
That's dope.
I think so.
Continuing, Forza Horizon 4.
Great game.
That's a great game.
Most of the games on my list are going to be from PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one that, like, when I got on Xbox and got Game Pass, like, I put a lot of time into.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a fun racing game. You know what I mean?
It is.
It is.
The Ico and Shadow of Colossus collection.
Okay.
Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, as I've said.
Journey's good.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah. And
I
Super Mario Odyssey.
All right.
I didn't know you played Mario games like that.
I think that's a good, well-rounded top 10. You kind of got everything in there. You kind of sprinkled a little everything.
I think there's games that, like, maybe I liked more than some of the games on my list, but those are the games that kind of, like, either did something great in the genre, had memorable moments for me, or, I mean, it could even have just been it came at a time when I was like, because I always had these slumps with gaming, right? Like, I play hours on end, hours, and then I'll have this time where, like,
I don't want
to play nothing for like 3 weeks, a month, and then there's always a game that brings me back, right?
Right.
So I think some of those are what you found on my list. You know what I mean? So.
Wow. All right. So top 2.
Top 2. I mean, what were my top 2? The Last of Us and God of War. The first 2 on my list.
Okay. All right.
I mean, those are it, man. God of War, man. That kind of blew my mind. I didn't even know, because that was one of my favorite franchises.
Yeah.
Like before.
Yeah.
I didn't know how you could make it and have like the third person camera. I was like, this isn't gonna work. Da da da. And then they showed the axe, and I was like, oh, okay, they're taking it this way.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, they couldn't have done. There's no way they could have put the Blaze of Chaos in this game. And then when you're going back, that's the scene I always remember. You're going back home, and they're talking. He has to go back and get something, and I'm just like,
Oof.
I'm just playing. I don't know what else happening. Boy, when he pulled out those blades, I was in that game. You had me, man. David, who was that? David Jaffe? Not David Jaffe.
Yeah.
Corey Balrog. Bro, that dude's a genius, man. That's, like, I think what's great about that game is he took, like, his life experience. Like, he had a kid,
mm-hmm.
and, like, how it changed him and how he had to be different and better, and he put all that into the character and it made it, like, real. It's like this Kratos character, like,
relatable.
I love the God of War games for the action. I can never defend how people were like, I don't like Kratos. All he does is yell. Like, I couldn't really defend it. Right?
Yeah, because it was true.
Yeah, but like this gave him so much character, and in my mind, honestly, this was like a perfect game. Like the pace of the game,
mm-hmm.
the length of the game, the combat of the game, the story, the side characters all were cool,
mm-hmm.
interesting. They mattered. So I mean, that definitely is just one of my favorite games of the decade, hands down.
Yep. And you notice like on all the old games, he always had time to go to the left and get some cheeks real quick.
He always got some cheeks, yo.
There was always.
He always got some. I was pushing circle like this, trying to get my man the cheeks. Yo.
But on that last one, my man was focused.
He was focused on
no cheeks. He was placing hands and protecting his son.
Yep.
You know, that game was great. I can definitely
even traveling in the boat, like the little stories they would have, like him and Mamer and the boy, they're just talking, and he tried to tell a joke one time, and it was the kid was like
what
the hell? Like it was all like I was invested into all of it, man. Like yeah. That's why it just has to be.
It didn't feel like a chore at all.
Right,
it felt like a chore. Everything had a purpose.
There's one thing I do notice.
Times, but there was no chores.
Yeah, now
except for the chick.
What I do notice is your
Valkyrie?
top 2 games. Your top 2 games both have child companions.
They both have child companions.
Oh, what's that mean?
I don't know where you're taking it. You know,
what's that mean for you?
I don't know where you're taking it. Hopefully, you have something to wrap that up nicely. Because
no, man, you just love children, I guess.
I guess so, man.
But
you having kids soon or what?
But it's an aspect of gaming that like most developers just can't get right.
Mm-hmm.
The kid is a chore. Or even not just the kid, the side character. They're running into walls.
Yeah.
It'd be some things where you're sneaking and you're like hiding out behind a wall and they're standing right there and somehow you guys don't get seen.
Yeah.
And like that ruins the whole immersion for me. So like these are two games that really did it well.
Right.
You know
well,
what I mean?
that happens in Last of Us, but
Rarely.
Yeah, it's rarely.
Yeah.
Like it happened when I was playing it, and
Yeah. But I do like how when stuff like that did happen, the character you can't control can't fuck up your game.
Yeah,
they don't really
they
fuck
can't
up.
be
Yeah.
seen.
So even though I don't like it because the immersion is gone, I like that it's not like, what are you doing over there?
Right.
Because I'll be like, yo, you little, get over here, you know.
Get over here, now we gotta run. Shit.
But you know, those characters were not only just there for you, but they were helpful. You know what I mean? They had their roles.
Right.
But yeah, man, I thought it was. I like both those games heavily, man.
Right.
Yeah. Good choices.
I don't even think I need to say why I like The Last of Us because everybody already knows why we all love The Last of Us.
Well, I mean,
I didn't like it. I don't love it as much as you guys. It was alright. It was. I just didn't like the ending. That's all. Ending like.
Well, the ending is divisive. You know what I mean? A lot of people.
No,
it's
not.
For some people,
Yes.
they don't think that
Logical.
it was a choice.
Not everything needs a happy ending,
Logical.
and not everything needs
to be logical.
right. No, it doesn't.
It
because
wasn't logical.
It was
I think
logical,
it was logical,
for a
yeah.
father.
Yeah, I think
it was logical for a father, bro.
Yeah, I think it was logical.
But
that's what some people say. They're like, you know what? You wouldn't take the greater. You would go for the greater good, right?
Right.
A sacrifice.
Yeah, selfish.
They would go for the greater good until that's their kid.
I agree with
That's
you.
not
Yeah,
his
you
kid.
don't got to convince me.
But that became his kid. He lost his child.
Yeah,
a surrogate daughter.
Sad,
Right.
Yeah, a surrogate daughter, pretty much. You know.
And you can't, like, I don't know if I could do that. I have a daughter.
As a father,
I could not. If I knew I could save the world,
yeah,
I cannot take her life.
That's not the same.
That is the same.
No, that's their blood daughter.
That
And
it don't
then you
mean
got-
nothing.
No, I don't think.
Hey man, there's a lot of people who are blood to somebody that don't give a shit about it.
Yeah. Oh, you can take that.
I just didn't agree with the ending. I was like, man,
I agree with it, man. Even when he was like, you know, she was like, "What happened?" And she was, I don't really remember 100%.
Yeah, he wouldn't tell
her.
her.
He wouldn't tell her. I was like, that's so realistic, man.
Yes.
That is how that story would go.
Because he feels like he has to protect his child,
I
even though
understood
that's
it.
information.
But then you also
I
see,
disagreed.
because there's a 2 coming out, the world's still there. It's
Right.
it's
It's
still
not as great as it could be.
it's just the
if-
people, man. The people are fucked up. Man.
Right.
So it's the whole Walking Dead thing. It's you don't worry about the zombies, you worry about the people.
Yep.
Yeah, those are the worst.
And
endings.
and to even top that off, right, about the ending, when he went into the little operating room or whatever, or actually way before then, when he was talking to the black chick, I forgot her name. She couldn't even give him a definitive answer that her blood or the harvesting of her body
The sacrifice
would save.
would be 100% enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It may have not. Yeah, it
Right.
may have been like up. We're close, but we're not there yet.
Exactly.
It should have been dead for nothing. Well, not for nothing.
Well, not for nothing. There would have still been research towards it, but
They still got to find somebody else who's immune. And,
right.
But
I mean,
hey,
The,
gotta
the,
take
the
that
thing
risk.
is, like, that the doctors, they can't make that decision.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, hold on. Speaking of the doctors, bro, when you bust in that room and you think it's all going to be a cinematic, and he aims at the doctor,
yeah.
and then that shit starts letting you play.
You're like,
Oh, yo, I don't want to shoot this guy. Yo,
man. But almost any decision in a game like that where it's letting you shoot should be your decision, right? You should be a part of that decision.
They should have gave you the option. to
They
either
didn't,
go
no.
in there-
They were like,
should've
you
gave
pull
the
this
My
option.
man came in guns
They should've gave the
blazing.
option.
Guns blazing.
Yep.
Gave
But I
it
like
cooler.
that they didn't give you the option because it showed that this game is motivated by a character who has his own mind, who has his own thoughts. You know.
No, but they have good endings and bad endings, and when you don't,
No, man.
No.
When you're telling a story like Naughty Dog does,
Yeah.
there's room for one ending because like then the second game comes out and it's like, well, my Joe didn't kill nobody.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it has to tell a singular story.
Yeah.
I mean,
they
but
are telling the
you know,
story.
the main story is gonna be. Well, you're right. God damn.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Yeah.
because who knows?
So,
I mean, so I'm not gonna go over 10, but
give
my
us some.
my top 2
Okay.
was definitely The Last of Us. That's why I like talking about it.
Found it.
But my second one was from last year. I mean, Resident Evil 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you did a remake? You put a remake in there?
I mean,
Well, so So let me put it into context, right? Resident Evil 2 came out in, 1998? Right? So I was 10 years old when that game came out.
Yeah.
Right? So I didn't really... I played the game, but I didn't experience the game, right? So my first Resident Evil was Resident Evil Nemesis. That was the first game I ever owned. First Resident Evil game I ever owned, right? So I was playing Resident Evil 2 through the eyes of my cousin, who was a few years older, who had all the games, you know. So I was just watching him play, and I was terrified of the game, you know. It seemed like it was super hard, you know. But when Nemesis came out and I actually got to play it, it was right. It was super hard.
Yeah.
And I was terrified of Nemesis, you know.
Yeah.
So when this game came out, I was hype because I was like, all right, I get to experience that in kind of the same lens that he was in when he was older, and the controls were fine for him. So now the controls are fine for me. Granted, I'm a lot older than he was back then, but I have updated controls, pretty much the same atmosphere, pretty much the same gameplay, you know, but everything's updated where I could experience the game as if I was 20 years old.
All over again, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that game was greatness.
Yeah.
The atmosphere, the gameplay, graphics, just they hit it out of the park with that.
The original Resident Evil 2 is really one of my most memorable experiences. I mean, I remember going to EB Games at the time, RIP EB Games, and like my mom being like, "Yo, pick one game," and me and my three brothers are trying to pick one game, and we didn't. I don't even think we had magazines back then. Like we just picked it up because the cover looked dope,
right? And
we sat there and played it, and we were like freaked out, bro. Like the liquor coming out, the dogs,
and those tank controls.
Yeah, but it was normal back then,
right?
The tank controls were normal back then, but it made it
scarier.
It made it scarier because it was harder. Like they start crawling over, and you gotta
turn
around and take off, and you run into a wall. And so that was, and I haven't, again, another game I didn't get to play yet, but I do want to try to get into it before Resident Evil 3 comes out, the remake. But I think you can have a remake on you. Shadow of Colossus is on my list, and it's really because I just love Shadow of Colossus. Like if they remake that game every decade, that's probably gonna find a way onto my list, man. That game for me was I guess your Resident Evil 2. You know what I mean? To go back and play that over again. So
I wonder if I did right.
You got some heavy hitters, man.
Yeah. Well, I have one more honorable mention. So my third.
My man, just name off.
Nah, man. Bro. Just these three I'm going over.
All right, man.
So, well, I guess this is technically two games, but they kind of build upon each other, which was both of the most recent Rayman games.
I haven't touched them yet.
Yeah.
You missing out, bro.
Man.
What is that on? That's on Switch?
It's on everything now.
Bro, you missing out.
Yeah.
It's even on the phone, I think.
It is.
Man, I'm never going to miss out on that one.
So, Rayman, Origins, and what's the other one called? Most recent one?
Legends.
Legends, right? Okay, imagine, when did the original Mario come out? Like 86 or some shit like that?
86.
I got 86 in my head
right.
for some reason.
So imagine being maybe 28 years old when that game came out.
Okay,
right?
That's where we're going with this.
And you got like the perfect platformer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I never thought a game could be on par or surpass Mario as far as platforming until Rayman Origins came out.
That is
that's a lot to say.
That's a lot to say because Mario is really perfection. Right. In the way that, like,
Super Mario,
if you're running a little bit faster, you jump different. If you're running full speed, you jump different. You can hop it. And you always felt in control. So if you're saying that's kind of matching it or surpassing it, maybe I do need to give this game a try.
Yeah, it's damn close, if not better.
So what's his local? So I'm assuming he's running around a lot, jumping. Does he have any like weapons or anything?
Nope. I mean, it's throwing hands and jumping.
It's a platformer.
Yeah, it's
a
platformer.
Knees right there.
It is a platformer. Like you can, I don't know for sure, but I think the developers of this game were Mario fans, and they were looking to give an homage to Mario.
Okay,
you know, and they.
I think I said it in the last video, right?
Yeah,
I might have said it in the last video, but I think you gotta do that, right? Even if it's not an homage, you gotta be like, this game works.
Right?
How can we how can we do this? How can we recreate this in the modern era and give them what they wanted then, but build upon it, right? So, I mean, that sounds like it's what they tackled, and they achieved it, man.
They definitely achieved it. They knocked it out of the park in that game.
Yeah.
But all right, y'all. So that was our Gamescast episode 2.
We did it. We did it, man.
We did it.
Yeah, we did. Oh my God. We did it.
Now we gotta restart it.
Cut it right there, yo. Hey, tell them to subscribe, man. Tell them to subscribe.
Hey, man, subscribe.